It's Tuesday, July 22nd, 2014. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, Ingress. Back from Kineticon, completely rested, nothing to do till PAX.
Nothing to do until the real PAX.
Oh my God.
1 month from now-ish.
So the other day, I tried to call, because Scott and I through magic, I got us a room in the Sheraton, but Scott has a backup room in the Red Lion.
It's no longer the Red Lion. It's now the Motif something or whatever.
Yeah, not trusting that.
Also, there's going to be some tabletop in there.
Did they announce that? Because they kind of moved that around.
Fantasy Flight said they're having a Netrunner tournament, and it's on the 3rd or 4th floor of...
Well, wasn't last year there was some Final Fantasy stuff there separate from tabletop?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's like that.
I'm pretty sure this Netrunner tournament sounds like it's a real PAX Netrunner tournament.
Oh, it is. It is. The Final Fantasy
you have
thing
to
was
sign
too.
up for it at 10 a.m. with the enforcers. So I think tabletop tournament is going to be in the former Red Lion.
But guys, it's like every year we go to all these conventions and like oh, Kineticon, we're really pumped about Kineticon, and oh my God, MagFest, really pumped about MagFest and Anime Boston and PAX East. But then in that few weeks before PAX Prime, like I remember how much I fucking love PAX Prime.
The real PAX.
Like it's
so real.
I'm sorry guys, but in the last few years, PAX East is a good con. Not as good as PAX Prime. It is objectively worse by every measure other than number of miles I travel to get to it. Worse.
That doesn't mean it's bad.
No, it's still like the third best con we go to.
It's like, oh no, LeBron James, not as good as Michael Jordan.
Yup. So I really am looking forward to PAX. And as Scott reminded me, I keep forgetting that PAX is 4 days long.
Aw, shit.
I could spend a whole day doing nothing but playing like indie RPGs or dive kick, and I'd still have a whole PAX.
Oh no, steak, not as good as filet mignon.
So yeah, hopefully panels and all that stuff will be announced soon, but we're going to be at PAX no matter what. We'll be there doing shit. Emily and I will be at PAX Dev. Scott will not, but... all three of us are going to be at that charity gaming. What do they call that thing?
I think it's sold out anyway. It doesn't matter.
It probably
We went to
is.
it last year.
Yeah, that thing we went to last year.
It's a charity dinner to benefit like this food bank that feed people.
There will be a link to it
And
on the page.
It's basically Thursday night before PAX. Come to this place, get dinner and tabletop games.
It was super fun, but my warning to you is that if you want to go to it and you don't pay to be a VIP, it's really hard to find space to play a game because there's so many people. And and also if you're going to go and you're like us, bring your own games. Most of the games people brought were baby tier. There's not a lot of non-baby tier. So if you are at this thing, which I will look up what it's called and link to it, let us know. Because if you want to come into our VIP area, we might invite you in where we
I
will
don't know
have...
if we can invite non-VIPs in the VIP area.
I think after dinner we're allowed to, because that's
VIP,
gaming
we're not
space.
actually special. We just paid for that.
Yeah, we're not...
With money. It's not like...
It's like, oh no!
They care about us.
Here's a pile of money. What are you doing with it? Giving it to children who might be dying in children's hospitals so they can have video games. Okay, that's a worthwhile use of my money. I've spent more money on stupider shit. So I guess there's some news because Blizzard's servers are down.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're still down, but basically Hearthstone, right? And just so people know, we know the guy who made Hearthstone,
Yeah.
right? And he gave us beta keys way back, and I played it on PC. And even though I know the guy, gotta be honest, it was kind of a lame, simple game. And when I played it on PC, I was like, this is not worth my time. And then it came out for iPad. It was 100% the exact same goddamn game with no differences whatsoever that I could tell.
There is one important difference.
It's on the iPad.
You can play it while you're pooping.
That's right. So think about this, right? And I think this is why I'm playing it at all, right? It's pay to win, which is already bullshit. It's super random, right? Because you can only have 2 of any particular card in your deck. So, and a lot of the cards are just ridiculously random in themselves, like the card that says summon a random beast, which could summon the beast that wins you the game, or it could totally fuck you up. You know, there's a card that says take all the minions on the board, kill all of them except one at random. It's ridiculous. This game is crazy. But as a game, if you're sitting at your PC or you have friends nearby and you can play a board game, like you can play Netrunner or you can play Counter-Strike or you can play pretty much any game, because you're sitting at a PC or with friends, Hearthstone just sucks ass compared to those games. But think about where you can have an iPad on a bus,
Pooping.
alone in the park,
Pooping.
on a toilet.
Yep.
What better game can you play than Hearthstone against a human being?
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
Nourishim Hex, I can't play against a human while I'm pooping. I'm playing against the AI.
It's really lame compared to any real game, but compared to anything else you can play on an iPad, when you're alone in certain situations, it's actually the best. Like,
And
what
also-
else is there? Are you Angry Birds?
Yeah.
No, right? And even though it's pay to win, which is bullshit, I guess it's less pay to win. I mean, you're still paying to win. If you pay to get the awesome cards, like I lose to people just because they have awesome cards all the time, right? There's no question. But it's not like some games, like that MechWarrior game we talked about that failed,
Yep.
where you can literally just directly pay to win, super hardcore. Anyway, so they came out with this thing today.
Curse of Naxxramas.
Yeah, which is actually single player Hearthstone, right? And here's how it works.
Story mode.
Yeah. So there's 5 winglings, which are like campaigns, I guess. And each one has basically 3 opponents to play against, right? Bosses. And the bosses have like unique powers and unique decks or whatever. And the first wing is free, at least for a month. At the end of the month, the intro, whatever, that wing is going to cost money, and so will all the other wings, right? All the other wings are going to cost money no matter what. They're going to release 1 wing a week. But the first one's free, at least during the intro period.
I love this. The first one's free.
Right. So it's a single.
Hey,
it's
hey,
a single.
kid. You want some
Right.
goofballs?
So it's a single player thing. A normal mode, you just pick one of your decks and play against the 3 bosses and beat them. I already did that. They were chumps. I beat them real easily. Right. Then they have this mode that's like hero challenge mode, where they give you a deck for each hero, and you have to beat these you have to basically beat it with the deck they give you. I did that. It was balls hard because they give you shitty decks, and the opponents are ridiculously strong. And like they give you 2, and I think when you beat them, then you get some more. I haven't beaten any of them, so I don't know how many. Like, if I beat 1, do I get 1 more, or do I have to beat 2 to get 2
Whoa,
more?
that just gave me an idea for a crazy Magic tournament. Imagine if you did a draft, and then everyone submitted their deck, and then you got a random deck from the draft. And then you played Magic.
Anyway, so the when you beat the 3 initial bosses, you get some cards, right, that you can use in real Hearthstone, right? And when you beat these challenges, you unlock cards you can use in real Hearthstone.
Wow, the first post here is my only one who thinks that the new boss cards are overpowered.
You're right. Any card,
Spectral Knight.
any legendary card is overpowered. That's basically how the game works.
Spectral Knight. This whole thread is already, people, today, Dateline, 5:32 p.m. today.
This thing came out this afternoon.
Yes, Spectral Knight is way overpowered.
All the cards in the game that are legendary are overpowered. It's pay to win. The rare, expensive, hard to get cards are just better. If you have them, you will beat someone who does not have them.
Yep.
Anyway, and then they have this like super hard mode, which is like, I think you do this. I didn't even try it, but if you beat that, you get super awesome, ridiculously good cards. But I think you can use your own decks on that, but it's supposed to be ridiculously hard. I haven't played it, so I don't know. So that's the thing. Luckily, you don't have to use real money to buy these other wings when they go on sale. You can use in-game money that you got just by playing the game. So I actually haven't spent any of the in-game money I've gotten for weeks, just so that I don't have to pay to get this other stuff.
You engaged in forethought and planning to make this happen.
Well, it's like, they've been teasing this shit for a long time, right? So I have like 1,700 in-game golds, which is enough to buy 17 packs of cards, but I'm going to use it to buy this shit instead.
It's interesting how Hearthstone is becoming pretty wildly popular, and the people who play it are really into the competitive scene.
Right. It's like, I'm really curious, what if the reason it's popular is because, it fills a niche that no other video game fills, really. It's free. It's a 2-player, directly competitive game with like this custom deck building thing going on, right? And the interface of it, the actual application, is pretty much as polished and amazing as can be, and it's on the iPad and the desktop, and it's exactly the same, and, it's just so well made as a piece of software. If someone did this for a real game that was similar, but, like, wasn't pay to win and wasn't so luck-based, Imagine how well that would do if the software was just as good.
Possibly poorly, because as we learned from Team Fortress 2, high-tier players represent a very small minority of actual gamers, and games that are actually primarily skill-based, like chess, tend to be very unpopular among people who aren't very good.
I just like to see Blizzard, put the same, the programmers and artists who made this so nicely to make, say, an online turn-based strategy 2-player game that's not pay to win.
Somehow Blizzard just buy the Advance Wars license and just start making...
They don't have to make Advance Wars. They can just make like StarCraft Tactics or some shit.
Yeah, I'm really kind of married to the Advance Wars aesthetic at this point.
I'll take Space Marines. I don't care.
We are Space Marines.
That's right.
So
that's the deal with that.
So in other news, a game's coming for the 3DS that I'm actually not going to buy right away because my policy on all things Nintendo has gone from buy out of hand to wait and see.
Yep.
Even this. Tetris Ultimate was announced with the most pathetic teaser trailer I have ever seen in my life. What else can
you show from Tetris? Blocks falling?
It's literally just the word Tetris.
That's all you need to know.
That's the trailer.
What else do you need to know?
So I'm worried about it in a few ways. On one hand, it's probably going to be fun, but the biggest fun of Tetris on the DS was that a whole bunch of us would play live multiplayer.
Right, and also it had this awesome NES themes in Tetris DS.
This one does not appear to have any NES theme stuff. It's more me themed. And they list the modes that they've got here. And the battle mode says 1 to 4 player brawl. The fuck? Where's my 16-player brawl?
Where's my 128-player brawl? Has to be a power of 2. We can't have a 17-player brawl.
Well, unless you had the TurboGrafx 16.
Sure.
5-player games.
I mean, if one person gets a Tetris, everyone else dies, right? It's not even good. So anyway.
I'm curious why, because that really wide multiplayer battle in the DS was 90% of our play of that game. The other 10% was that weird duel mode where you're throwing Tetris like at each other in the middle.
Sure. The point is Tetris's official and unofficial have been released for pretty much every hardware platform known to man, but the best ones, the true Tetrises, are always the ones in the portable Nintendo system. The Game Boy one, the NES one, kinda, the DS one, definitely. I guess the SNES and N64. Well, SNES had Tetris and Dr. Mario, which was an okay cartridge, but was and then Tetris 64.
So
right?
Tetris Ultimate is also being launched later this summer on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation Vita, Windows.
But I mean, 3DS is going to be the legit one, right? Who's going to play those other ones?
I don't know. I mean, what about all the people who didn't buy a 3DS for the same reasons?
So
they didn't buy a Wii U?
all of nobody.
There's people who didn't buy 3DSs.
Who do you know that does not have a 3DS?
Emily.
She has a DS.
She has a DS, yeah. No 3DS.
I think she'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll see.
This is legit Tetris right here.
It is. But I worry that this is going to be like the WarioWare situation where it's going to be a legit Tetris that just isn't as good as the previous one. Like, it always saddens me.
You don't think it'll be good as DS Tetris?
I worry it might not be.
The only thing I think it's lacking, knowing nothing about it other than the name, I predict it won't lack anything except the cool NES themes.
And the many player battling.
4 players is enough Tetris battling.
Yeah, but we almost always, when we were doing this, have more than 4 players.
You want to play Tetranet?
Oh, yeah, Tetranet.
Tetranet is hardcore Tetris. You can't play. You'll just lose immediately because people are like...
Though, as an aside, we talk about this a lot, at least everyone over here in our crew except Scott, but we finally got together and played a multiplayer game of the newest, most updated, most expansioned Civilization 5.
Ain't no one got time for that.
And you know what? It's working really well, and...
Let me give you a sense. Technologically?
We'll get to that. So all at one, it took us an hour to start the game.
Okay, already no one got time for that.
But once we got it going, I just want to let you guys in on one of the reasons why our gaming group is so closed and insular and why no one will game with you out there. We set no turn timer, no turn limit. You can take an hour to take your turn and everyone has to wait because we trusted everyone playing. And you know what? It was not a problem. If you play games with any person where you would not trust to leave that option the way that we left it, your gaming group is someday going to explode in drama and fail.
Or if you're the person who says, no, we need to make it unlimited because I need to think, you're the problem. Take your turn.
So It was super fun, and they fixed most of the issues. Like the
Like, how does the timing issue work now? Like, if we got guys next to each other and I'm going to attack you,
so
but
basically
you
the
were
way
going
it
to
works,
attack me.
if you do something that would cause war, including just declaring war, it reminds you, like, are you sure? Are you fucking sure? And then what it'll do is everyone who's not at war can take their turns per turn simultaneously. Then the people at war take their turns sequentially.
So if I'm not at war, I get to go first.
Or second or third or whatever.
Right, but I mean...
It's parallel with everyone else who's not at war.
Right, so let's say you're warring with Scott Johnson.
Yes.
I want to jump in and attack you. I get to do that before you do your war with Scott Johnson.
So if you attack,
that turn.
If you attack, it says, attacking will declare war. Do you want to? And if you say yes, then you get added to the turn order of all of us going to war.
So I get my turn, that turn gets shifted. It's basically, all right, your turn stops. You'll get to continue it later.
You'll basically, yes, your turn now will be in the sequence of the people whose turn
will
it is.
my attacking dude get to move before your guy?
It depends. So you obviously have not played this at all. So in multiplayer, it shows all the people who are in the game left to right at the bottom. And it shows you who didn't fucking take their turn yet.
Yeah.
But two, if there's war, the order will always go left to right on that. So that's just set at the beginning of the game. So you know.
Oh, so that order doesn't change ever?
Yes, because if you play without hybrid mode and just pure turn-based, it just goes in that order for the entire game.
Oh, okay.
So in hybrid mode, of the people at war, it goes in that order every turn for them.
So if I always go before you from the start of the game,
And any war we have,
then I can just nuke you before you can respond on
you
that
know
one
what?
turn.
I declared war against Linkiji primarily because he was to the right. Of me.
That's a good idea.
Also, he founded fucking Hamburg, like right next to my capital. It's like, dude, you see these 6 catapults I built, right? What do you think's gonna happen? Actually,
horsemen.
so I went over and I stole his worker, and then I was like,
fuck yeah.
and then I was immediately like, I will gladly sue for peace if you don't want to have your turns take forever because of this war. But he tried to get the worker back.
Hold the worker hostage in your capital.
Yeah, so I ran, and then he cut me off, so I couldn't get the worker back to one of my cities.
Kill the worker.
So eventually I ran north and north and north.
Disband it.
So I threw it into a city-state, and I tried to gift it to that city-state.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah, and then this war
better more than disbanding it.
So later, I'm just gonna tell you what happened. There's some crazy bullshit happened. So this is going on. We're at war. I'm giving the play-by-play on the all-talk voice chat because there's a bunch of us in this game. And everyone's like, how's the war going, Rim? And I'm like, I've got Hamburg down to half health. I got Hamburg down to a quarter health. Scott Johnson, out of nowhere, declares war, marches in, and takes Hamburg.
Yeah.
So now Scott Johnson has Hamburg.
Hamburg's hot and Hans Teutonica also.
Yeah, kind of sucks in our world because it's mostly in the desert. He considered raising it. So now Scott Johnson has it. So of course I have to declare war on Scott Johnson.
I thought you meant I was like, the real world. I was like, what? Hamburg is not in the desert.
So I declare war on Scott Johnson. We fight a little bit. And now we got to back up a little bit. Like 8 turns prior, I proposed peace to Linkiji as a show of good faith because I was going to turn my fucking army around on Scott Johnson and just end the wars. We could
They
just
were thinking of
thing.
ganging up on you wisely.
But I
vote for Rim to win the vote who wins game.
So I'll tell you who we actually voted for to win. So I have
Scott
Hamburg.
Johnson?
Scott Johnson gives it to me to end our war. Partly because he realized it sucks and just wanted to get, he was like, I'm out.
It's cost more to have it than to
Yep. I wanted it because it's next to my capital. So
just disband it and move it.
So I have it, but it's a little tenuous because I have my army marching over to like secure it and like fill it out. And then Linkiji gets a bunch of guys near it, attacks it suddenly and takes it from me. No big deal. Like it's literally surrounded with my catapults. And then accepts the peace overture that I didn't realize you could rescind, and we're at guaranteed peace for 10 turns.
Oh, so clever.
That was so beautiful. It was a thing to see. So these wars are ongoing in Foxton for a while.
Why did you rescind your peace?
I didn't know you could. I did not when I was like, what the fuck just happened to Hamburg? And I hear him in the voice chat just laughing.
He knows the game better than you.
So meanwhile, we're all on one continent except for Cold Guy and Pegu. They're alone on the other continent. Cold Guy's score has just been steadily rising faster than all of us, and we're kind of waiting for the black ships to come over and fuck up our continent. So
Pegu's not having a good time?
Pegu's not doing so well over there. So anyone in my continent, we need to present a unified front against Cold Guy's expected foreign aggression with his superior technology.
Boats.
So
Anti-boat weaponry.
I really need Hamburg and all the city-states so I can lead that charge. I need you guys to help me out.
You can lead the charge. In other words, vote for him to win, because if he leads your side of the world and then you beat the other side of the world is the only threat to him, then he wins.
Nothing wrong with being a vassal.
You should vote for a different leader on your side of the world, because that's who's going to win the game. Or assuming that you can even fight off
Cold Guy's
Cold Guy.
already pretty fucking ahead. We're going to have to...
You guys are going to have, like... trucks. You're like, we invented the truck, and like a stealth bomber's gonna come over.
But yeah, it took us an hour to start the game.
You invent radio, and then what do you hear? Like
Rufus got his Civ 5 crashed 9 times. He was like, guys, I'm sorry, and he just
what
quit.
kind of computer?
No, it was Civ 5 just like disconnected him from the game for like no reason. Other people got disconnected randomly. Every now and then the game would just be like, well, fuck, and then we'd all go to a loading screen for like 10 minutes. So
glad I didn't waste my time on that.
It's super fun, mostly because we were just hanging out in the voice chat. But seriously, Civ 5's multiplayer is like, it is a millimeter above the line of unplayable.
Why can't we just do the play-by-mails or whatever?
I want to. We'll see. I kind of like hanging out live.
I got
playing.
time for that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Things of the day. Just watch this video just to see what the deal is with this. There's a game, an ancient game. In the year 1994, Epic Mega Games released a game called One Must Fall 2097.
We talked about this on a recent Geeknights.
We've talked about it a lot, but we haven't really gone into detail. Watch this video. This game has some of the greatest music of its era, and it's interesting because Scott and I love this game, yet it does the kinds of things that we typically say are shit in games.
Well, it's a fighting game, but it has RPG elements. So imagine if like my Ryu has a leveled up fireball, so it doesn't matter how good I am at the game. I probably just beat you because my Ryu's level 100.
Yup. It goes to show that when we complain about like statefulness or all these things in games, it's not because any of these concepts are universally bad. It's just that they're applied poorly. This is a game that does many of the things that we think are bad in most games, and it does them well. And as a result, it was a good game. However, it is not a good fighting game by the modern definition of fighting game.
No. It has good music and cool robots.
It's also the kind of fighting game that I have a chance at.
So here's another game. Apparently this game existed called Matrix Path of Neo, which is some sort of Matrix-based like third-person walk-around action game that basically retells the 3 Matrix movies, 1, 2, 3, right?
Yep.
And you play as Neo doing whatever. And it's not a very good game. I guess it could be worse, but it's not good. The interesting thing about this game is that it's got so much videos in it, right? And like the Wachowski brothers actually worked on this game, directed it.
Like they're in it.
Like it was a movie. And they changed the ending because the ending of the 3rd Matrix movie, while also bad as a movie, would even be worse as a video game.
Yeah.
So the ending of the video game is completely different and incredible. And here's a YouTube video where you can watch it without having to acquire or play this horrible game.
Spoilers. Also, I guess are we pirating the game?
No.
Nah. The book club book is Canticle for Leibowitz. I'm on my 5th novel I'm beginning that I've read since I finished it, waiting for Scott to finish it.
I haven't read any books.
Yeah.
I'm doing other stuff.
We were at Kineticon. Video and stuff is coming. If you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen that we did something that other cons just don't fucking do.
I don't think any con has ever done what we're doing.
We publish the detailed stats of how many people were in panel rooms for the entire con.
Whoa!
Like the half hour by half hour breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I redact all the internal notes we have in the full stats, I'm publishing it all. So
how many people went to each individual panel?
Yep. Exact numbers, room capacities, everything.
Whoa. That might, aren't some guests going to get upset when we publish the fact that like 20 people went to the panel?
Only 10 people came to our 8 in the morning Why No One Will Game With You panel.
That's true.
Yet we filled the room for our anime panel.
When was that?
1, 2? I forget.
Well,
I forget what our panels were.
Kineticons crowd is anime.
What was very interesting is that we had so few anime submissions, yet the anime panels we did schedule were pretty much universally some of the most popular shit we had.
Yeah.
But also, this data was crucial because multiple people complained that the panels they wanted to get into were full.
No, they weren't.
And I could look at the stats and tell them, actually, there were more than 100 seats free. You could have just walked in at any point.
You didn't need to wait in line for that panel. I tell people you don't have to wait in line for this. Just show up and walk in. Unless you want to sit in the front, you don't need to do that.
Way more important, we have learned that a majority of the people who say they've tried to go to a panel but it was full were lying. Lying. They said a panel was full that was objectively not full.
Unless our panel staff were lying.
True.
They were not. They had clickers. They weren't lying.
Yep. One guy was like, oh, I saw someone with a clicker counting the line and assumed that I wasn't going to get in. It's like, why would you assume that?
Mm-hmm.
Why? The guy with the clicker walked past you and kept clicking.
People are just really bad. A lot of people complain about lines because they know nothing about lines. They see a line and they're like, oh, that line's too long and never going to get in. It's like, yeah, that line goes all the way down the hallway. That's like 200 people. That room has 400 or 500 seats in it.
Oh my God. There were these homestucks in line to get into one of the very large rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking down the line counting, and this kid and all his friends are like, oh, we're not going to get in, are we? Hey, are we going to make it? And I look down the line. I'm like, there's like 40 people in front of you, kid. This room seats 400. Mm-hmm. And he was like dumbstruck. One, that there were so few people in that line.
Yep.
So yeah, Kineticon's fucking awesome, but next con for us is PAX.
I got to tell a story. So there were some people waiting for a panel way early in advance, 90 minutes to an hour, 2 hours in advance.
Why?
And there's like 10 of them. And it's a gigantic room. And I know 100% it's not going to fill, that they could just walk right in. And I go to them and I'm like, why are you guys waiting here? You could just go enjoy the con and come back. I guarantee you will get in this room. I swear. And they were like, no, we kind of want to wait in line. One guy had his 3DS and he's just like, I'd either be playing this 3DS here or somewhere else, so what difference does it make?
Yep.
And I'm like, seriously? It's like you paid to get to this con and all you want to do is sit around and play your 3DS that you could do at home? You don't want to...
We do that for the Omegathon finale every year at PAX.
Yeah, but if we walk right in just at the end, we won't get near the front or anything.
Yeah, true.
I said, if you
we always go up and sit in the fucking balcony anyway.
Well, no, we don't. But the point is, it's like, I said, if you don't actually care about being in the front, then you could just walk right in.
True.
But I cared about being in the front.
I don't trust anyone, and I'm afraid I'm not going to get it. I've never missed an Omegathon.
I did. I missed one.
I know.
And I missed the ones in 07, 06, 05,
Actually,
04.
I got to watch the cornhole one from backstage. And it's...
I watched the cornhole one from right near the cornhole.
Yeah, cornhole. I saw a bunch of people in Williamsburg playing cornhole today. Cornhole's not that fun, but it's not unfun.
Listen, you could do worse than cornhole, but you could also do better.
You know what?
Worse would be horseshoes.
Yeah.
Better would be badminton.
Bocce. Bocce's way better than
Shuffleboard,
cornhole.
way better.
Shuffleboard's all right. Curling
Sucks.
Curling's awesome.
Sucks.
Awesome. Anyway. So a while ago, I talked on Geeknights about Ingress because, I had Android and I'm kind of trying to do all the Google stuff. So I played it, or I did a preview review, but Scott couldn't play it. Emily couldn't play it because iPhone.
And now it's on iOS. So
And-
everyone can play it.
And
Who has a smartphone.
it, as I said before, and Scott will concur now that he's been playing it, it is, if I had to give it a genre, it's in that ARG space, but it's pretty much a multiplayer versus Candy Box.
It is Candy Box.
In the sense that you are better at it if you click more within it. Just do more and you level up faster.
There's no real skill. There's some strategies, but they're obvious. But most of the game is just, you will be able to do better shit if you spend more time playing this game.
Yep. I mean, I'm level 7, and I got that
I'm
way.
almost level 4.
So I got to level 6 just by 5, just by kind of idly playing, at work. I just hack stuff.
Are there
whatever I thought
nodes
to.
you can reach from your office? Portals?
Yes.
See, I can't. I have to move around a little bit to hit some.
I can hit 3 portals pretty reliably from my office.
There's a bunch near my house and there's a bunch near my work, but I actually have to go outside and walk around a little bit.
Yep. So if I walk around, I can hit 30 portals in about 5 minutes.
I can hit maybe 10 each.
City Hall Park is a hive. And it'll be all of late's blue, green, day by day.
If I take the subway to work, I can hit so many portals just riding the subway because it's above ground.
Yup.
And if I go walking around work at lunch, I can hit a ton of freaking portals.
The most portals
But if I
ever
bike
hit.
to work, I can't. I could hit probably a zillion, but the problem is I can't really do it while I'm biking.
Yeah, that's the one thing. And I also don't want to stop biking. Like when I go home, like I don't want
When
to
I'm supposed to
stop.
hold my phone, bike slowly, stop at every portal. Fuck that.
Yep.
I'm just
like
gonna
there's
bike.
a really good high level portal at the base of the Williamsburg Bridge that I captured at one point while I was waiting for Emily. Like I fucked that thing up, blew my whole load on it. But the most I ever hacked at once was when I was taking a cab in London to the airport from my hotel. I just had it open and I just hacked everything I passed. I hacked like 100 portals. I had so much shit.
I have a lot of shit because mostly what I do when I rode the subway, and I'll probably ride tomorrow because it's gonna rain.
A lot of shit, Scott. I have like 300 level 1 resonators.
I have like 100.
Huh?
I had even the level 3 resonators, the ones I can use, I got like 50.
Thing is, I got a ton of level 8s that I can't use.
I don't have anything that's level 8.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
They only give you something that's one level higher than you because that way when you level up, you have stuff to use.
Yep, which
But
is
they don't-
brilliant.
Yeah, but they don't let you get, like, I'm level 3, I can't get level 5 stuff, which I might give to you.
Yep, but again, it's brilliant game design. Like this little bit. So the way the game works, in a general sense, is that you have an Android phone or an iPhone, you can walk around like it's GPS enabled, and there's portals on shit. Like there's just a
Yeah,
portal.
there's a map of the real world, and there's portals in the real world, and they're actually, each portal is attached to a physical object in the real world. Like,
Yep.
Like murals or
Post offices.
the fire alarm thingies on the street near me. Those are all portals.
Yep. Every work of,
statues in the park.
pretty much every work of art in City Hall Park is there.
Yeah, there's a zip car that has the portal on it.
Yeah.
I think that might be a paid advertisement. I'm not sure.
No, I've added portals for weird stuff like that.
Anyway, it has a zip car logo in the game though.
Yeah, you can do that.
All right.
So you go if you're physically next to a portal, like you've got to be.
You got to be
like,
really close.
Then you can hack it and get items out of it and get XP.
It doesn't matter if it's good, friendly, or neutral.
Now, if it's a good portal,
Or
good
bad.
green means good.
If you're not in the green team, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the story here.
All right,
of
the
this
lore.
game.
The
Yeah,
lore.
let's do a little because I don't give a shit about the lore, but there's the tiniest bit of lore is when you turn the thing on for the first time. It says which team do you want to be, and it's a permanent one-time decision.
And it gives you a little bit of info about like the vague idea that both are fighting for.
Right, the blue team, the shit team, right, is the rebellion, and the green team, the enlightened, are the smart good people. Right. The smart good people are like, technology is awesome.
Well, let's go a little bit further. So the plot is that you know the golden compass, dust?
Yep.
Dust is
Spice.
falling on Earth.
Spice.
Yes. Dust spice is falling on Earth.
Yeah.
And it's coming out of these portals that are just appearing everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So the green people, the smart people say, wow, this dust is powerful and makes humans who use it powerful. Let's use this to evolve humanity to the next level of awesome, powerful existence and be awesome forever.
How is that not the greatest and totally in
the
line
blue team
with
is
all
like-
philosophies of Geeknights?
The blue team is like, human exceptionalism, don't evolve, avoid this scary shit from space, fight it off, maintain our
and this is why we're going to
humanity.
use our awesome powers and just kill everyone in the blue team.
Yep, pretty much. So you join a team, and then if a portal is
Oh, by the way, the evil blue team is outnumbering the green team.
we flipped it back just recently. It's a pretty close fight right now.
Yeah, let's fuck him in the ass.
So basically, if a portal's unclaimed, you can put resonators around it in the real world to claim it. And if you get 8 resonators around it, then it's like fully loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And resonators have levels, and the average of all the resonator levels that you've got in a fully loaded portal determine the portal's level. The higher level the portal, the more energy it's collected and got, the further you can make links from it to. Like you can make miles and miles and miles away links.
But you don't really want to. You don't. I mean, in New York, you don't need to. It's
Yep.
better to make because the idea you want to link portals together is you capture them for your team, and 2 portals are captured for your team, and they're fully loaded with resonators. You can link them together, and if you make a triangle between 3, portals full of resonators, that triangle fills together and becomes a field. So the best thing to do is the game doesn't care how big the field is; it just cares that it's a field.
And the field
So
is
lots
a
of little-
mind unit field. You bring the brains of the humans who are not enlightened enough to realize this war is happening in the lore. You basically augment their brains. So you have sort of like your faction sort of controls the collective mental energy of the people under that based on a statistical model of actual population. So a tiny field like in Manhattan is
incredible.
a lot of points.
Yeah, and so those MUs, the mind units, those are the actual points that score for your team, right? That's the real points. That's the victory points in this game.
Yep.
Right? So when you look at the chart that shows blue slightly edging out green, that's mind unit points. It's counting, right? So there you go.
Yep. So you make these fields. Your goal is basically to control a majority of Earth's population for your faction.
We should
And
go
they
to
do, like-
China and set up portals.
They do like AR, just things all over the world. You should see. I got into a huge war. I had a portal that I took over in Turkey, and I eventually lost it. But my faction's still holding on to it, and I got the key, so I can check out on it every now and then. And every time I go back there, I fuck it up.
Yeah.
And you can attack portals too. So if a portal's on the enemy team, you can hack it. But you can also attack it, and if you destroy the resonators, you can take down its links, take it down completely, reclaim it for your own team. And the attacks are also physical. You gotta physically go find that fucking portal and attack it.
Yeah, attacking it kind of sucks depending on the weapons you have. I think the only weapons I've seen are XMPs, which are sort of these radius attacks.
Yep.
And when you use them, it's like slow and it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of time and they're not very strong.
Yeah, so my high level ones, like if I use a level 7 XMP, I'll take out like in one shot every level 1 resonator within like 500 meters.
Oh, they have bigger radius?
The higher level ones have bigger radius and do way more damage.
Oh, I didn't know they had bigger radius.
Yeah,
They just
one
did more
level 7
damage.
can fuck some shit up.
And then there's these ultra strikes, which are like nukes. And they're harder to get. I only have a few.
They hit a tiny area devastatingly.
Yeah, but it's like if you want to take out one portal, just use the ultra strike.
Yeah, like
Boom.
go over to one individual level 8 resonator and just drop 2 ultra strikes on it. You can probably take it out.
So the other thing is that, when you're capturing a portal, putting resonators on it, you can put these mods on there.
Yeah, like shields and heat sinks and I like the turrets.
The turrets are good because the turret does is anyone tries to fuck up the portal or hack it and it's an enemy, the turret will fuck them up and drain their energy so that it's harder for them to attack it, constantly because they'll basically run out of their energy they need to attack with.
Yeah, we held on to some portals near City Hall for a while because there were 3 portals like right next to each other, like as close as they can be. And all of them had 2 turrets and 2 of those like attack enhancer items on them. So if you walked over there and you were blue and you hacked anything, it was just like...
And also, the shields are also really strong.
Yep.
They make it really hard for anyone to attack it, and gives you plenty of time to go over and fix it. Because, they'll run out of weapons and energy before they kill it, and the shield holds on, and the next day you come and recharge it and put the shields back.
So this game has basically 100% replaced the Nintendo 3DS Friend Street Pass whatever candy box for
Oh,
me.
yeah, screw that.
This is my sole candy box because for a candy box game, it's perfect. Just, hey, I'm bored. I wonder if there's a portal near here.
The other thing is that it's Team Candy Box, right? You could go and have a fun act. You could actually use this candy box to support things that are not just stupid candy box. For example, you could say, hey, everyone, let's all of us have this game. Let's go around the neighborhood and find portals, and you'll discover things in your neighborhood you didn't know they were there.
Yeah, do you know
there's a
how many
portal.
streets I've biked or walked down just to go to a portal and hack it that I never in my life would have gone down otherwise?
There was an owl statue in a park that I didn't know was there, but it had a portal on it, so I found it.
Yeah.
Right? Stuff like that.
Until
Also,
you'll meet people. Like the other day I was biking, right? And I stop at a stoplight, and I look to my right, and there's a guy in a car, and him and his friend both have it open on their phones. And I
were
look,
they on the green team?
so I look, and they're green. So I tap on the window, and the guy looks like, what the fuck? Because it's New York. You don't talk to people. And I hold up my phone, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Let's go green. But if you get a team of people together, right? If you get 8 level 8 dudes together and you go somewhere, you can fuck shit up big time all together. Because what you can do is you can all use your weapons at once and destroy a portal really fast if it's an enemy one.
And 2,
You can all put a level 8 resonator on the portal together
And
to
that's
make
the
a
thing.
max level portal.
because the way it works is I can put any number of level 1s on a portal, but higher level ones, one person can only put 1 level 8.
Yeah, if you're level 8 and you go to a portal and you try to fill it up with resonators all by yourself, it's only going to let you put 1 level 8,
It's 8,
a couple
7,
level
6,
7.
5, 5, 4, 4, 3. I can't, I'm getting down to my low levels real quick.
Right, but if you have 8 level 8 people, you can all put 1 level 8 resonator and make a ridiculously strong portal
put
that no
4
one can mess with
Put
easily.
4 of the ultra rare 60 defense shields up on that shit.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
well, we've got this. And then since you all have a whole bunch of portal keys, you can all send links out of that thing like crazy. right? It's like, someone might be lacking the energy or whatever. So if you're all together, you can actually, make some friends and go around fucking shit up.
Yeah, and the game is like a built-in chat that actually works. Like you can chat with the enemy and message each other. There's a secure chat just for your faction.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 2 factions right now, but wouldn't be surprised if something weird happens at some point. Because apparently,
You're saying they're gonna add a red team? Fuck you, red team.
I'm just saying,
green team for life.
the game's had a bunch of events and weird shit that I actually have never really interacted with. And there's a whole bunch of lore and crap in there that I've been mostly ignoring.
Don't give a shit about the lore.
Like they
All
added
they
more,
care about is green team.
They add, like level 8 used to be the highest level, but they just recently added 8 more levels that do weird shit. Like I've seen people who have clearly done things that, as far as I know, break the rules.
Right, there's a dude
And then I
in
look and they're like
Astoria.
level 10.
There's a dude in Astoria named Atrocitus, and
I've run into that fucker.
that guy is the most evil blue team guy. I'm like worried about this game. Like if I'm going around Astoria and I'm biking around hacking and I see this dude, should I beat him up?
Just take his phone.
Yeah, it's like, should I take his phone, throw it on the ground, and run away? It's like I feel like I should.
So I've seen,
but I'm also afraid someone might do that to me.
I've seen in the community reports actually of in some, especially in college towns, like if a college is mostly blue or mostly green, the people who are in that faction kind of go like Stanford prison study on each other and get really into the game in a bad way. Like I've seen some reports of that happening, which is understandable. Like I can see why people do that about sports ball.
Yeah. I know. I don't think I would do. It's like, imagine if we have a group of 8 people and we go around capturing portals, and we get the email that says your portal has been attacked. Like we just captured that portal. We turn around and there's someone there, and there's 8 of us, and there's one blue team guy.
Just stand next to each other.
What are we gonna do?
You know what you do? You have someone go over and talk to them, like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, blah 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 blah. Act like they're on their faction to distract them. Meanwhile, you just fuck the portal back up in the right direction.
Take their phone and throw it in the street and run.
I don't know, this is probably, honestly, a lot of people have tried to make games in this ARG space where, like, there's a game overlaid on the real world and people playing the game see it. Like, I remember seeing so many of these booths at, like, old PAXs and other conventions. It's probably the best one anyone's ever made.
Probably.
It's not great, but I'm still playing it.
Yeah.
Like, Scott's playing it.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to get into because it's fun, it's social, you meet people, it forces teamwork. And I've actually met a lot of people playing this game because when
you never met
someone...
anyone playing Candy Box or Cookie Clicker.
Nope.
And you don't even really meet people doing Street Pass, right? It's like you'll see people on Street Pass.
You know what Street Pass is? Hey, a person you will never meet in your entire life who is similar and cool.
Because you don't need to do anything with the person you meet on Street Pass, right?
Yep.
It's like you just get their me, and it's like you don't need to interact with them in real life in any way. And I guess Nintendo doesn't want you to either because you might be a child predator, and the 3DS is probably owned by a child. But with this, it's like, no, if you see people in your area, like capturing portals, and they're on your team, it's like you got to find them so you can, it's like, hey, do you have energies? I need some energies. Or, hey, you got any weapons?
It also gives fun context.
Do you have a portal key for this? I want to make a field here.
Months ago, Katsu and a bunch of us, we went out just to go get dinner and drinks, like after work. And I pull out my phone and I open Ingress for a second. And a new guy, who we didn't really know each other yet, one of Katsu's friends, is like, Ingress. And I was like, yep. And I kind of pull my phone back. And he's like, and there's this dance of like,
are you on the blue team?
Yep. And then suddenly I was like, I'm just going to work on my portal here. And he looks, and then he sees the portal under attack, and he was blue. And then we were like, and I'm like spamming XMPs, and he's trying to save
Why
it.
didn't you take his phone and like put it in his drink?
But I'd recommend. I've got a bunch of invites. If you guys want invites, like I got a bunch of
You don't need
them.
invites. You can just join this thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because you needed invites for a long time.
No, you can just join now. If you have a iPhone or Android or whatever, just join it.
Yeah. So guys, join it. Join the green team. And you know what? We're actually kind of playing it. So we should meet at a convention like PAX and then all go out on a hunting expedition.
We should see if we can find on the internet like PAX Enlightened meetup and go to it.
Yeah. Actually, people do the button trading. Maybe this is it. We should make a green team button.
Oh, little Enlightened logo?
Geeknights sponsoring
in
the
New
green
York
team.
City, someone keeps messaging all of New York City.
Oh, yeah, there's
like email nyc.enlightened@gmail.com, and it's like, I feel like I should email it.
Watch, that's a year-long running honeypot scam.
It could
actually
be
the blue team.
It could be, but, I don't know.
This has been Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geek Nights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.